go.
It's up for debate.
All right, guys. So kicking it off tonight, we were already getting into it in the beginning of the show, but it's as I just said, I just put it best. It's up for debate. And are you ready to rumble? All right. So here's the question. Real quick, we're just gonna say them. You don't have to explain it real quick, but actually, before we get in this topic, as you guys know, with the show, we've been doing our weekly MVPs. So mine is Joe Burrow. Who did you say yours was again, Jay?
Trevon Howard.
And then who was yours, Vib?
Still AD.
All right, still AD. So there you go. I mean, no further explanation. Those are all of our MVPs. But as we're talking about the MVPs, Vib goes to Jay. Jimmy G still your MVP? And Jay said no. But hey, look at this pick. This is something that Jay actually blessed us with. And I don't see any Jimmy G jerseys for sale up there. So they're selling off the rack. Why don't you tell us about what you saw down there, Jay? Is Jimmy G still the guy, or is it time to flip the cards to Trey Lance?
Jimmy G is the guy. I went out there. I was in San Francisco. I went to 3 different lids. Two of them were like mega stores. Like they were crazy. One was smaller. But the guy told me at the small one, they're all sold out all over the city. Like you're not going to find a Jimmy G jersey. They're sold out. I went to the other one, sold out. I went to the third one, sold out. I asked the manager. I was like, oh, how can I get a Jimmy G jersey? And he's like, we get shipments in on Tuesday, but by Wednesday they're sold out. It's been that way since week 3 of the season. That's what he told me. So Jimmy G seems to be that guy. Like Jimmy G, to me, I think he's that guy. I mean, the Rams defense, they're the men. Those are the men. Like those are those guys. Trevon Howard ended Jimmy G's season with that pick. Aaron Donald getting pressure, Von Miller getting pressure. But as far as quarterbacks go, I think Jimmy G needs to get some respect. He beat Tom Brady. I mean, no, he beat Aaron Rodgers. He beat Dak Prescott. And people talk about them like they're so great. Give Jimmy G some respect. He just beat both of them in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'll say this and then I'll let Vib take it. And we got a special guest in here, Alex Robson. What's up? We're gonna get into something later in the show for you, Robson.
Bro, he's getting He got kidnapped by San Francisco. He goes up to San Francisco and is like, bro, Jimmy G is the best thing that happened to Earth. San Francisco fans holding him hostage. They're holding him at gunpoint.
What I'll say about Jimmy G is you do make a good point about those wins, Jay. But overall, I think that San Francisco offense is being held captive. Like they can be doing so much more with Trey Lance. I mean, he went to North Dakota State University, which I'm not crazy about, and I know that's where Carson Wentz went. No pun intended. But I just really don't like that school. I mean, I think if you're playing in the NFL, it's really hard for me to look at a lot of these smaller school QBs and go, oh, okay, this guy's going to make it in the NFL. In my mind, if you want to be an NFL QB nowadays, I feel like you need to go to these bigger schools. I'm not saying all QBs because Alabama is not a good example. I mean, even though they have 3 starting QBs in the NFL with Mac Jones, Tua, and Jalen. But my point is, like, I feel like starting QBs that stick, go to bigger schools like LSU, like Alabama, like Clemson, not schools like North Dakota State University. But Carson Wentz, I think, is going to get another shot. Can Trey Lance do it? I think the one thing I like about Trey Lance is he's a sheer raw athletic ability. I think like his ceiling is so much higher than Jimmy Garoppolo's floor. Jimmy Garoppolo's floor is it's bad. It's what it was this past week. I think he was 1 for 6, a pick and like 6 yards on the final 2 drives. That's despicable, but I'm with Lance. What do you think, Vid?
I'm with Lance as well, and you took the words right out of my mouth. By the way, I just want to say that I got an update for Twitter, and that 49ers defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans declined an interview with the Vikings. Therefore, we are down to 2 head coaching candidates.
Wow.
Two head
You
coaching
declined
candidates.
it?
And both of them will be ex-Rams coordinators. So,
Hey, let's get it. Rams house, baby.
which ex-Rams coordinator are the Vikings going to hire as their head coach?
I would.
I want O'Connell, but I like Raheem Morris too, so I wouldn't be mad if we hired Raheem Morris.
Hey, Sargent's in the chat. Shout out to my guy Sargent. He'll tell you Morris is not that guy for you. He'll tell you Morris frustrates him and me. And I will say this: talking about the defensive coordinator Morris and the defense in general, just to talk about my guy Jimmy G and how I told you the city has shirts of him, just of him, his face on the shirt, selling for $25. But what I want to say about Jimmy G really quick to kind of talk on both of your guys' points a little bit is that Trey Lance, all right, Jimmy G just beat Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau Field. At Lambeau, he just beat Aaron Rodgers. He beat Dak Prescott in Dallas. No, but I want to say Trey Lance, like you said, is playing against these small schools that he was tearing up in college. It took the greatest defense that I've ever personally witnessed in the Rams defense. The only defense I put even close to them is the Seahawks defense that won the Super Bowl with that Rams defense. You have Aaron Donald, you have Von Miller, you have Leonard Floyd, you have those DBs, Jalen Ramsey, you have Nick Scott out there laying the wood. You have so many stars on defense. It took that to beat Jimmy G. Just like that's what we got to think about. It took that, and Jimmy G still had a good game. So I'm with you. I respect y'all opinions with Lance. I think Jimmy G should be that guy because Lance is going to get torn up. If Lance has to ever go against the Rams, which he does twice a year in San Francisco, he's going to get torn up. Aaron Donald's going to be feasting. No sacks again. No sacks in 3 games for Aaron Donald's going to turn into like 10 sacks because Aaron Donald's that guy.
I'll say this too. I think you made a good point. Like the point right now is that Jimmy G, they used him in the playoffs where I think Lance would have gotten torn up in the playoffs. I think Jimmy G's your better option in the playoffs, at least right now. I think going into next season, you need to let Lance start developing. Because
let Lance develop. I think that he's had a good year. He learned behind Jimmy. He learned behind Jimmy G, so he should at least know some things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Niners Nation, Niners gang, whatever. Y'all get ready to be last place in the NFC West for the next 8 years if you want to have Lance as your franchise quarterback. That's all I'll say.
Hard disagree.
It's gonna
Rams
be
are owning that division, Viv.
Huh?
I said Rams are going to own that division for the next 5 to 8 years if Lance is the starting quarterback.
Do you guys want to hear my hot take right now?
What's your hot take?
Jay was just talking about owning a division for the next 5 to 10 years. You know who I think is going to own a division for the next 5 to 10 years?
The Bengals.
Vikings.
Bengals.
The Cincinnati
Let's
Bengals.
go!
I think it was crazy. I think and I love Lamar. I have a Lamar jersey in my closet, but these guys are the
These
real
guys
deal.
are nuts. They're insane.
We said it last episode. We said they're the real deal.
They're
and
the
then
real
I
deal.
uploaded this video. And
They
I have
are.
a video. If Robson's still in here, I want to hear just Robson's reaction real quick. Where we basically said,
they're truly the real deal. I like the Bengals.
yeah, Robson, you remember the time in the beginning of the year, you told me and Jay, you asked us if we were drunk on an episode because we said that we saw the Bengals go into the Super Bowl.
Woo!
Just saying.
Hey,
Anyway,
Go to film.
these guys are insane. They got a really young core and they're built to win. I think not even right now. They're built to win for the next 5 years. It's going to be sick to watch them play.
Oh yeah, they're built to win, and they did it enormously well and just sneakily well, so that nobody else would be like, hey, this is the team that we need to take seriously.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the drafting is so important. Drafting Joe Burrow last year and Jamar Chase this year. No one liked the Jamar Chase pick. If you guys
Nobody
remember,
liked the Jamar Chase pick, but it turned out very, very well.
I love it. How do you guys feel about their defense?
It's solid. Definitely
I think-
serviceable.
I think give it time and it will get better. But I think right now they got lucky where they are.
They're
I think
definitely
that's
good
true.
at creating takeaways, to their credit.
Yeah, they're opportunistic, I guess you could say.
They're very opportunistic.
No,
I don't know. What do you think, Jay? What do you think of their defense?
I think they're all right. They're okay. Same thing you guys just said. Opportunistic. They make the plays when needed. And that's all that matters. If you make the plays when they're needed, but They haven't gone up against Cooper Kupp and OBJ. That's a crazy wide receiver duo that I feel like if you look at their opponents, the tight ends, I mean, yeah, you have AJ Brown and Julio, but you have Ryan Tannehill throwing the ball. Who they played this last week? The Chiefs, Tyreek Hill. I guess Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce kind of, but you're talking about Cooper Kupp and OBJ, two of the greatest to ever do it, man. Like, and Van Jefferson on top of that, and Higbee on top of that, and Matt Stafford. This is gonna be too much for this defense. Oh, what Sarge saying out there? I didn't see the comment. What did you just say?
He said you mean the LSU Bengals. I love it, Sarge.
Somebody said Morris is trash.
Oh, that's facts. Raheem Morris is trash. The Rams need to get rid of him. If he goes to the Vikings, that's their defensive or their head coach.
That'll be
the Rams would benefit greatly for that. So we kind of hope it happens, but
that'd be a little bit of a rip.
I think. Let me ask you guys something though, because I made a video earlier that I'm going to put on TikTok, and it was 3 bold takes for the Super Bowl. And 2 of my bold takes were obviously AD could get 4 sacks with that offensive line. That's not really a bold take, but the interesting one that I had was I think that Burrow, Chase, and Mixon go for combined 500 yards. I don't think, and this is a hot take, that Chase goes for over 100 yards in the Super Bowl. Just because that defense and Jalen Ramsey is going to be on him most of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tough.
But you're saying together 500 yards?
I'm saying, but like not between those 3. I'm sorry. I think that those 3 lead the entire total Rams offense to a 300 or a 500-yard offensive game.
So you're saying, my fault. I'm sorry now. You said that the Bengals in general have 500 offensive yards?
Yeah, the whole offense. I think obviously led by Mixon, Chase, and Burrow. But I think that their run game probably puts up somewhere like 200 yards. Burrow has like a 350-yard game. I don't know. I could see it happening. And then like 50 yards rushing for Burrow or something crazy like that. I think it's going to be a shootout and high scoring. Like I think this game could go into the 50s.
Well, it's going to be an amazing game.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's going to be high scoring?
Viv, what you got? I can give you mine. I got mine already if you need some time. But what do you got, Viv?
I'm saying no. I'm gonna say no. I don't think it'll be high scoring. I think no team will score more than 27.
Ooh. Hey, all right, Viv. Here's my hot take then. This is my score. I already told people my prediction for the score. I got the score 28-9 Rams is what I got. And we've been talking about this from early in the season, like you said. I said the Bengals can make. We talk about Bengals make the Super Bowl, but they're not going to compete with the Bucks. They're not compete with the Rams, and they probably wouldn't even compete with they probably compete with the Packers, but they wouldn't compete with the Bucks or the Rams. And the Rams made it. I think the Rams will destroy them. The defense is way too tough, and the offense is nice as well. I just see them overpowering them.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, props to the Bucks for getting where they're at. That's all I really have to say to wrap that up, because I think nobody saw them getting to where they were.
Let's hope for a close game, though, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's hope for a close game, but it might not happen.
I hope so, but yeah, you're right. It may be a blowout. I don't know. I think with Joe Burrow, though, I give him a lot of credit. Transitioning, though, into some NBA. James Harden, I think, is unhappy or not happy living in Brooklyn, is the report. And he intends to feel out the free agency. Obviously, I'm wearing this because I want him to come to Philly. I think that would be a good fit. But I'll let you guys take it first. What do you guys think the deal is here, and where would he go if he goes somewhere else?
I think the deal is here is that he's frustrated because Kyrie can't play games.
Yeah, KD was out last game. I just watched the Warriors-Nets game the other day. I think it was like 2 nights ago. And KD wasn't playing either. So KD's not playing. Kyrie's not really playing.
If KD's not playing, Kyrie's playing. Harden is literally in a worse situation than he was in Houston. And so, like, that just leaves him to do all the offensive work. And he's 33 now, or like 32. Like, he's in his 30s, so he's still fine. But as he gets older, like, he'll be able to carry less of an offensive load. So, it burdens him because, like, your best – because then you have – you have, like, Patty Mills, Joe Harris, and you have Nick Claxton to throw it inside to, but it's still not good enough. You have no defense.
Well, this is what I think, Vib and Dog. I'll tell you both what I think. This is something that Jeff Van Gundy brought up on the broadcast. But he was saying that this whole thing with Kyrie Irving to begin with is so stupid because Kyrie, why is he more of a threat when he's playing in New York than he is when he's playing in California, when he's playing in Georgia, when he's playing in all these other states? Why is he more of a threat? Why can't he play in New York? It makes no sense. They need to just let him play basketball in New York. It makes talk to whoever you need to talk to because Kyrie should be playing. He's not hurt. KD is hurt. When he gets healthy, this team is the best team in the league. You have three of the best offensive players.
100%.
So it makes no sense why you would do. It's like the Heat. Think about the Miami Heat when they had all those great shooters and Ray Allen and all these guys. If you take away Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, does LeBron want to be in Miami even though he has Ray Allen, even though he has Mike Bibby, and he probably doesn't want to be there either. So
yeah, also Ray, that was like well out of prime Ray Allen.
That was well out of prime Ray Allen. It was out of prime Bibby. It was these guys that were great for spot up shooting, but if they have to be the guys who are, like you said, Vib, carrying the load with the main player, it's not going to work. Just the same thing you said right now. Patty Mills, great spot up shooter. He could pass. He does some things, but you can't have him being your second option. Like on the whole team.
You can't have him or Joe Harris be your second option.
Exactly.
You guys know what I think is a really unattractive situation is what's going on with the Sixers right now too. Like it just sucks because Joel Embiid's doing everything. I mean, he's been magnificent in the past 5, 6, 7 game stretch, but I think for Harden, I don't know, honestly, if that makes you want to go to Philly because you know that you're going to get the ball, you know that you're going to be like a prime role, or if that doesn't make you want to go there because you're like, holy shit, like this guy has to do everything here. Like they have no other pieces when they have Tobias. They had, I should say Ben Simmons, but they have younger guys who I think should be starting to step up, like start using Tyrese Maxey more, in my opinion. But I don't know. I would love to see Harden come to us if we can snag him, but I just think what's the cost? I think if you can dump Simmons somewhere, though, I think a Simmons trade is coming. I think something's about to happen in the next month. When's the deadline? Do you guys know?
February, right? This coming up month in like 2 weeks, right? Something like that. 2-3 weeks.
Something like that. I don't know for sure.
It's like right after the All-Star break or something like that.
So it's coming up, though, is my point. So I mean, if you can dump Simmons, dump him. But at the same time, I'm not against what our general manager is doing right now. I think if you can't get something that you feel is worth Simmons for Simmons, let him sit on the bench. I mean, you're not going to just dump everything that you have invested in this guy because he's a baby.
Yeah, that's tough. I think that some team needs to be smart and take Ben Simmons while his price is somewhat low, because it's not going to be like teams. I think right now want him for like a first round pick or something like that, and be like, all right, he's not going to go. He's going to go for what he's worth to an extent.
Yeah,
but
he's
I think
definitely going to go for what he's worth.
Yeah. But because 2 years ago, Ben Simmons would have required, he probably would have been untouchable, really. But if he were to be traded, it would have been an insane amount you had to give up. Right now, you get him for a discount. A team needs to make a deal before the trade deadline.
What team would it be? Like, where could he go?
I have the Nuggets. Nuggets have been I love Spider-Man out there, little Spider, Campazzo. Jamal Murray's cool. But Ben Simmons is a superstar at the point guard position who's like 6'10". You already have Jokic. I think that's a team that can win a championship now if they go all in. Like we've seen the Rams do this year.
You don't need another playmaker though. That's the thing. It has to be a team which requires a playmaker.
You need Simmons to shoot too. Like Simmons just coming in the way. I think in that offense, like it's not gonna do damage. I don't think you're right. I think that it's a win now team. I'm just worried about Simmons.
You need a team with shooting and that lacks playmaking. You need a team with like that. That's like the Wolves. Like the Wolves have. Like D'Lo can play make, but nobody and Cat can like kind of play make, but like nobody else can play. Like nobody else is at any or nobody's as elite of a playmaker as Ben Simmons.
I mean, I like the Wolves too. I know you like the Wolves. I know that's your team.
Yeah, I'm a Wolves fan, and I'd be like, okay, I'm fine with a Ben Simmons trade if we don't give up too much. If we don't give up, I mean, obviously you don't give up Cat and Ant.
Oh, hey, how do you guys think about this trade? It just came on my. I would love this trade as an LA guy. I mean, Clippers, Lakers, whatever. But Russell Westbrook and maybe a first rounder for Ben Simmons, I would love if we could do that as a Lakers fan. Do you think that the Sixers would do that? Do you think that's possible? How do you guys feel about that?
I'll go first, just like as a Sixers fan, and I'm going to say I wouldn't want that. Like,
Yeah,
look
I know
at what
you
he's
wouldn't
doing
want it as a
right now.
Sixers
Look
fan.
at what he's doing
You
with the
wouldn't want
Lakers.
it.
He's throwing it up on the backboard, throwing a terrible shot, and then somebody on the sideline, I think it was Shaq, was like, "What the hell was that shot?" And Russell Westbrook's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Bro, I just saw you like take that terrible shot." So like, no, I don't want like another toxic personality. That's like, I get it. It's toxic for toxic, and like, I just think that the Sixers get the shorter end of the stick because it's an older guy. I
They
think
do.
he's not shooting well right now. That's what the Sixers are looking for in a playmaker. And like Viv said, like the value of creation and playmaking. I think that that's what the Sixers need to replace with Simmons is an elite playmaker, which I think Russell Westbrook maybe used to be, but I don't know what's happened to him right now, at least.
All right, Dal, how about this? Viv, you weigh on this too. The Lakers give up 3 first-round picks and Russell Westbrook. Another team comes in and gives up 2 first-round draft picks. They get Russell Westbrook, Simmons to LA, and the Sixers get all 5 first-round draft picks. You're good with
I don't even have to say anything, but yeah. What do you think, Viv?
I mean,
5 first rounders? Yeah, I'm down for 5 first rounders.
I mean, yeah. 5 first rounders. I mean, is Ben Simmons worth all that though?
I mean, Ben Simmons and Russell Westbrook put them together. They might be worth still maybe 5 first. I think Ben's worth 3. Ben's worth 2 or 3, in my opinion, and like a solid player. So
Fair.
It depends. I still think a first rounder and Jamal Murray for Ben Simmons would be my ultimate like win-win situation. I think Dalt would be happy with that. As the person who likes the Nuggets, think they're good. I'd be happy with that.
As someone who likes the Nuggets, I would not be happy with that. But they have elite playmaking already. They
do. Jokic by himself is already an elite playmaker. Like
Jokic is a better playmaker than Ben Simmons. So
yeah, no, I agree with that. They do. Jokic by himself is a top playmaker. They don't need anyone else. Neither does the Lakers. LeBron James is, you could say, is a
LeBron can go back to being your playmaker.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
LeBron is playing really, really well as an off-ball player, though.
That's true.
One thing I wanted to ask you guys is, so as you guys have seen, the reports are coming out that Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams might be teaming up in Denver. And do you guys think that they could be building a super team there? Because look, let me just tell you this offense real quick. Aaron Rodgers, Javonte Williams, Davante Adams, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, a pretty solid offensive line. And then the defensive players, Justin Simmons, Surtain, Chubb. I mean, I can keep going if you want me to, but you guys get the point. This team could, I think, be built to win a Super Bowl as early as next season if Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers both go there. I don't know. What do you guys think the possibility of that is? Because the Packers can obviously franchise tag Davante Adams, but then they won't be able to trade him next year. And I think that could also just piss off Davante Adams.
Yeah.
Piss off Davante Adams.
It would. And like just like Sergeant said, Denver is not close to being a super team. Or actually not like he just said, because what I'm thinking right now, this is my thoughts, is that if Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams go to the Broncos, I would love to see a Rams-Broncos Super Bowl with 2 elite defenses, and then you have Aaron Rodgers and you have Cooper Kupp and OBJ on the other side of the offenses. I think that would be an insane game to watch. Even if Brady comes back, I don't think he's going to come back on the Bucs because I think he's done with that. But if he comes back on another team that they create their own super team, that's a whole other topic. But Aaron Rodgers in the AFC would dominate, and he'd go to the Super Bowl for sure. And then he'd play against somebody like the Rams, who probably can't beat, but it'd be crazy to watch. So yes, I want to see this. I'm already lined up to get my season tickets for the Chargers, and this is one of the few games I'd go to if I do. If they go to the Broncos, I'd be watching that game in SoFi because Aaron Rodgers, man, he needs to be on a better team because the Packers have not been it for the past 6 years. How you feeling,
Viv?
Yeah, you know what? I think Aaron Rodgers needs to go to another team. I mean, if he went to the only thing is the AFC West would be really, really hard for him. I mean, you have Chiefs and Chargers, 2 emerging teams already. So I feel like maybe he should consider going. I mean, then again, there isn't really much easier of a division you could go to with a good situation in the AFC.
There's not a better time to go right now.
Yeah, because if you went to the Steelers, number 1, worst situation, number 2, as hard of a division. If you went to, I mean, he could go to the Dolphins, but I don't think that'll happen.
No income tax, no state income tax. There's something. There's some incentive for that.
If he went to the Dolphins, they would be like the best or second best team in the division.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
I think
they'd be better than the Patriots.
But this is what I would think is if he goes to the AFC West, yeah, you have the Chargers, but I mean, it's not when you have Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, you've seen them carry the Packers to a #1 seed this year in a tough NFC. Like the NFC is tough in general. But you put them on the AFC West, I think that they can go in and they're gonna win tough games. They're gonna beat the Chiefs in tough games. They're gonna beat the Chargers in tough games, and they're gonna beat the Raiders. I mean, I don't think the Raiders are gonna be that tough for them, but they're gonna beat the Raiders too. And you're gonna have to beat those teams anyway. So why not? I guess if you're Aaron Rodgers and the Broncos and go to the Super Bowl. I just think that the path to the playoffs, as we've seen with the Bengals, is a lot easier in the AFC because I'm telling you, the Bengals don't make the Super Bowl in the NFC. They'll probably don't even get out the wild card or the divisional round against the Bucs or the Rams or even the Packers. So I'm just saying AFC might be nice for him.
I think too the thing that Sarge said is the AFC. I don't think it's trash right now, but there's no better time to win in the AFC than right now. And everybody's like, "What are you saying? What are you saying?" Well, all these quarterbacks' confidence levels are kind of shot right now with Josh Allen, with Patrick Mahomes. Like Joe Burrow's the guy that's coming out of nowhere. All the QBs right now have lost. So you can come in out of nowhere and kind of be a disruptor, I think, in the AFC. And yes, obviously it's going to suck to play Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Carr, and Justin Herbert 2 times a year each. But at the same time, it's just like, is there any other guy that is up to the task than Aaron Rodgers? It would be if the NFL was scripted, like maybe it is, people were joking, this would be a very, very good element to the script, I think.
I'd love to see it. Write it up.
Yeah, write it up. Other than that, I mean, I don't have much to say else about this, except it would be nasty. And that would be my Super Bowl favorite. But moving on to Davante Adams. We didn't talk about this last week. And some potential landing spots. Sarge actually brought up the Raiders for Aaron Rodgers, and Davante Adams, I think, could team up with his buddy from Fresno State. Also Derek Carr. So Davante Adams and Derek Carr potentially teaming up. Where could the best wide receiver in the league go next year? Where do you guys think? Because these are listed as the best landing spots.
I'm taking Las Vegas.
Yeah.
How come?
Yeah, I'm taking Las Vegas too, Viv. It makes the most sense. I'm gonna just do this. Process elimination. He's not going to the Jets. That's terrible. He's not going to the Bears. They got a quarterback that's not proven. He's not going to. I mean, I love the Eagles, dog, but Jalen Hurts, as much as I like him and want to believe him, we just seen that last game he had in the playoffs. Didn't look good. I don't think he wants to play with Jalen Hurts at this very moment. If he's going to play with anyone and trust anyone, it's going to be the guy that he played with in college, his day one homie from the beginning in Fresno State, Derek Carr or Aaron Rodgers. I don't see him. I mean, of course, if you can play with an elite quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, like a Patrick Mahomes, of course. But, yeah, he's going to want to play with the guy he trusts and the guy he likes. And I think he's going to Vegas, too, out of those picks. Vegas or Denver or wherever Aaron Rodgers goes. But that's what I'm thinking.
What about you, Vib?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Vegas or Denver. No other situation. He would not want to go to a losing franchise like the Jets, of course.
Yeah. Could you guys imagine though seeing him in like imagine if he just like out of nowhere is like, I want to go to the Jets and like,
oh my god,
like imagine they just offer him a bag, like
Oh my
a
God.
bag, and like honestly. Like, there are some players I think that honestly like the challenge of going to, like, a shitty team and kind of, like, being, like, that guy that can elevate them to the next level. Like, look at Tom Brady. He went to the Bucs, who are pretty much irrelevant since 2000, wins a Super Bowl with them, might win another Super Bowl if he decides not to retire, which we'll get into that next. But the point is, if Tom Brady's sticking around, the Bucs are relevant. Once Tom Brady leaves, though, guys,
They're done.
retiring. Evans is going to probably retire one out. The Bucs are going to be immediately irrelevant again. So Davante Adams, in my opinion, if he's a guy to go to a franchise that's irrelevant, even like maybe say the Bears, he's like, oh, I like this Justin Fields kid. I want to see what I can do to play with him. I think that would be fun.
Well,
I don't think he would do that in his own division, though.
Well, those are two things I'll say with Davante Adams. There's two things that I'll say. One, I think he wants to win a Super Bowl at some point soon. You see OBJ went to the Rams this year because he's like, this is a team that I can help get a Super Bowl with because they're good. I'm good. Let's make it happen. I think Adams wants to go to a team like that. But also, we've seen Le'Veon Bell go to the Jets because, like you said, they offered him a lot of money, a lot more money than he was worth. and he went to the Jets. But Davante Adams is so good, he doesn't need to take a job for money. You know what I'm saying? Like any team should be offering him as much money as they possibly can because he's that good. Like I don't care what team you are, any team in the NFL right now could use Davante Adams. Even the Rams, who have the two best wide receivers, in my opinion, two of the best wide receivers in the league. Why not add a third? I mean, he's not going to go to the Rams. But what I'm saying is any team would be happy to have Davante Adams on their roster is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think the Raiders, though, would be the best fit. You hit the nail on the head. His buddy from college, I think if he's going to go anywhere, if it's either going to be the Broncos, the Raiders, or the Packers next year, realistically, any other team, I think I would be, and everybody else would be shocked. And Sarge is saying the Raiders need him. I just can't see the Raiders going out and getting Aaron Rodgers. I feel like that would be a slap in the face to Derek Carr. Like, could you imagine like an insane trade where the Packers somehow get Derek Carr in exchange for Aaron Rodgers? I mean, how old is Derek Carr? Like 29?
30? No, he's like
30.
Okay, so yeah, he's 30
but yeah,
years
29,
old.
30. Yeah, you got it.
So he's right on the dot at 30. So, I mean, you get 3 or 4 years maybe out of him with today's QBs. I just think that would be an L, though, for Derek Carr. Because I think once Aaron Rodgers, one of those guys, once he leaves the Packers, same thing with Davante Adams, they're going to be irrelevant. Love Jair Alexander, but they're going to be freaking irrelevant.
Well, do we have a Trey Lance situation in Green Bay? Because they have Love there sitting behind Rodgers. Do they want him to play? Do they even need a quarterback in the trade? Because they have Love sitting there, who's supposed to be this big prospect out of college and young quarterback. Is he that guy like Trey Lance, like we're saying?
I think he deserves the shot. The question is, are the Packers are known to be dumbasses in their front office. The question is, will the Packers give him the shot, or will they do something stupid like go put Derek Carr in that awkward position? If Derek Carr gets traded, or if Aaron Rodgers would go to the Raiders, Derek Carr deserves to go to a team that needs him.
So if they trade Derek Carr, they'd be doing him so dirty. Oh my God.
The only team where I think I could see Derek Carr wanting to go would be like New England, somewhere where he could just immediately fit in and make him a contender. I think you give Bill Belichick somebody like Derek Carr, the Patriots are immediately contender again.
Well, here I'm bringing it up again, though. But my guy, I don't call him my guy, but Jimmy G, 7 playoff wins and like 2 playoff appearances. Derek Carr hasn't won a playoff game in his entire career, so I mean, it's tough. It's like I would play Jordan Love over Derek Carr. I mean, I love Derek Carr though. Don't be wrong. I love like you know what I'm saying. Like this is like a hometown guy. No disrespect to Derek Carr, but like just from thinking of it like non-biasly, I'd probably start Trey Lance and Julian Love over or whatever Julian. Well, I don't even know the dude's first name. Jordan Love, something like that, over Derek Carr at this point. But Jimmy G, gotta keep him anyway. We'll move on, but
it's all good. I wanted to say too. I was talking about making somebody a contender, and this guy did that. Not so fast. He's not off in the sunset yet, retiring. Tom Brady retired, and then an hour later he unretired, or at least that was the saying.
He never retired, dog. They're haters.
Why don't you tell everybody what happened, Jay? Tell them the story with little Adam Schefter and what happened there.
Like Adam Schefter, and I had just talked about this about somebody because somebody had some news. They broke some news. I was like, that's cool. Everyone's giving all this hate, like, oh, you're not nobody. I said, if Adam Schefter said the exact same thing, everyone would believe it the moment he tweeted it out. And what happens like 3 weeks later? He tweets this out. Everyone believes it. Although there's nothing being said by Tom Brady himself. I'm telling people he's not retiring. He's not going. I don't believe it until I actually see week 1 happen and he's not on the field, or if it comes out of his mouth himself. So Adam Schefter, he's just a human. People treat him like he's some kind of like football like source god or something like that. He's just a human being. So
it's a human
like,
being. That's the funniest thing I've heard.
So like they gotta stop it. Tom Brady, like first of all, if he does retire, this is my opinion. I think I brought it up. I kind of alluded to it earlier. If he does retire, and I don't know how the rule goes. I know Rob Gronkowski did this to get out of playing with the Lions. I don't know if you guys heard the story. He retired, so he didn't have to play with the Lions, and then he just went back to the Patriots to the Bucks. But Tom Brady might retire just to get out of the Bucks. Maybe he doesn't want, like we just said, he did proved what he had to prove. He won a Super Bowl with a really bad team. Now put him on a super team. Let him in his old age win 1 or 2 with a team that's already really good, like maybe even the Broncos, or the Dolphins, like we said earlier. So yeah, I don't think he's gonna retire. I think he has a year or 2 left in him. He loves the game. He wants to finish on top. If he wins the Super Bowl next year, then I'll believe that he's done and he'll ride off into the sunset with the Super Bowl win, like Peyton Manning.
What do you think, Bib?
You know what? I mean, Adam Schefter said last season that A-Rod would leave, and he didn't leave. So leave Green Bay. So you know what? But it's really really weird. It's really weird because this is an actual possibility based on like I don't know the Insta post that Brady said, his press conference, stuff like that. It could be an actual possibility. So I mean, I wouldn't be. I like Brady, so I would honestly not mind seeing him win some more Super Bowls, but maybe it is time for him to hang it up.
And I don't think that there's a bad time to hang it up. You're right, Vib.
Not at all. I mean,
like
he
seven
has
Super
7 rings.
Bowls,
That's hard to-
5-time
that's
Super
hard
Bowl
to beat.
MVP.
Yeah, if you have 7 rings and 5 Super Bowl MVPs, that's hard to beat.
Well, question for you guys, because Vib just brought this up. You know, his press conference, some Instagram stuff. Do you think? Because this is what I think. Do you guys agree or believe that Tom Brady is doing all this and saying whatever he's saying because of the emotions of that crazy hard loss? Like, you know, you lose a game like that, I think that has to play into some of the things that he's thinking and saying. But come, you know, off season, come summertime, come fall, I think his mindset's going to be completely different. Like he's going to want to go out there and win just because the competitor he is. You know, regardless of what people say about him, he's a great competitor. Sergeant down here. First of all, Sergeant, I appreciate you for showing some love to Tom Brady because every time we talk about him, you always say he can't run, he can't all this stuff. So thank you for the love of Tom Brady. But yeah, I think he's gonna want to win another Super Bowl. He's the ultimate competitor in my opinion. Him, Jordan, and Kobe are the 3 guys that I don't put anything like over them to win something, to compete and want to go out there and win.
And that surprised me too, Jay. Like I was thinking about that too. Like after they lost in the playoffs, I was just like, wait. He was like, yeah, I might be retiring. Like I was like, wait, what? Like I was kind of shocked because most people think like Tom Brady, the immediate thing he wants to do after losing is get out there and play again. Like he's that guy that you beat in Madden and he's like, yo, let's play again. And he makes you play until he wins. Like you almost have to let him win so that you don't have to play him again. So that's why it shocks me with Tom Brady. But I mean, if he stays, I don't think he's going to go to another team. I think it's either Bucs or retire.
It's Bucs or retire. Yep.
I respect it. I respect that. You know what I think too, talking about what you just said, like just about Madden sports in general, I think maybe what he's feeling and was feeling after the game, because he didn't really lose that game. The defense lost it for him. You know, you say Tom's the best QB ever played. Oh, okay. There you go. Sergeant gonna say that. That's fine. Anyway, that's a side thing we'll talk about later if we want to. It's on one of the shows in the past. But Tom Brady, after they lost that game, I think he's feeling like, yo, I can't win with this sorry defense. Like I can't win. Like F these guys. I don't want to play on this team. Like I feel like I'm gonna retire because I might retire because I don't want to play with these guys anymore. But like if he would have lost the game himself, like if it was for some reason he threw like a pick to lose the game or something crazy like we seen Jimmy G do last week, I think he would be like, no, I got to come back. And you know what I'm saying? That's the difference. I think is that he didn't feel like he lost the game. It's kind of like J.R. Smith in the finals when he's like, oh, how'd you feel about the loss? He's like, I didn't lose, y'all lost. Like you know what I'm saying? They lost. I was on fire. That's how Tom Brady kind of felt. So I think he doesn't want to. I mean, he might go back to the Bucs because, like we said, things will go over. But I think he just doesn't like that defense and that team losing that game for him.
I think it's time for him to hang it up. I hate to say it, but I think at this point, think about it. That might be one of the best. Like, there's not a better way to lose a game than what just happened. You know what I mean? Than that comeback and be able to do what they did at the end. There's not a better way to lose a game. And I don't know. I think Tom Brady was good at points this year. Don't get me wrong. I think that he'll obviously be a candidate for the MVP. I just think that a lot of it was that receiving trio that they had. And Godwin's going to be a free agent next year. AB's gone. So it's just, and Gronk's getting old. I'm sure Gronk's thinking about retirement. So it's like, how many of these guys are going to come back next year? How good are you going to be? How good of a chance do you have to get back to the NFC Championship, to the Super Bowl? Looking at the AFC, it's stacked. If Rodgers stays on the Packers, I mean, and honestly, looking at the Rams, if Stafford stays, and if the 49ers get a QB, I mean, can you get back? So I think maybe it's a good time for him to think about it. And I like to say, walk away while you're at the top of the world. Don't walk away like somebody like Big Ben did. I think it was cool that they made the playoffs, but this year I think Big Ben should have retired a year or two ago. Like, there were a couple games where you just watching him and you were like, oh my God, this guy needs to retire. He's just holding the Steelers back.
I agree with that. I can see that. I think Tom Brady has at least one more year, though. At least one more really good year. But I will say, because I will, Sergeant, if you're still watching, I do want to say, if he does retire this year after taking the L to our Rams house, baby, let's get it. I will say that I'll admit 5'9", 5'10", my favorite fighter, boxer of all time, Floyd Mayweather. I'll then say Floyd Mayweather is the greatest athlete of all time because he never lost, and he keeps fighting, even though maybe he should not fight anymore. He should probably retire. He should probably be done, but he keeps fighting Jake Paul, Logan Paul, these Japanese guys overseas. So I'll give it to Floyd Mayweather, and Tom Brady has to take the second seat behind him. So hope you're happy, Sergeant. That's what I'm saying to all y'all right now.
Yeah. I guess our last topic of the night, guys. And thank you to all those who have tuned in tonight. We've got a nice number of people here. We're moving the show to Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time. But the stage is set for Super Bowl 56, I believe. The Bengals and Stafford. It's going to be a good game. They're playing at SoFi Stadium, I guess it is.
Let's get it. Yep.
Yeah, in LA. So it's going to be a great game. I'm rocking out with the Bengals personally. And we'll obviously have next week to talk about this too. But I'll say this. I'm not shocked about the NFC representative. I'm very shocked about the AFC. Like in the beginning of the year, I think next year I want to like sit down and like each come up with a team. And we can watch it at the end of the year, like the film of like each of us pick a team and say why we think that they're going to go to the Super Bowl and represent the AFC or NFC conference. I don't think anybody would have came close to picking the Bengals. But I think that that's the best part about the Bengals. And I think that that's what Joe Burrow likes. He likes being an underdog. So give me the Bengals winning this game. But a lot of people say I'm crazy, like Sargent. But I mean, I have reasons to want LA to win too. There's a kid who went to my high school that plays for LA. It's just like, at the end of the day, I'm an LSU fan. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, so I got love for the pick, but I'm going to go ahead and say I already made my prediction. So I'm going with the Rams 28-9. It was my prediction. It may not be that score, and we're hoping for a closer game because it's a Super Bowl, of course, and we hope the refs can throw those flags and make it a little bit closer so the Rams can win maybe like on a game-winning field goal, game-winning touchdown, something like that. But I think the Rams are going to win. And, of course, I have my bias, too. I'm an L.A. guy. I grew up South L.A., and then I moved to, like, the east side of L.A. Like, that's where I met Sargent out there. So, yeah, I mean, I grew up in L.A., the heart of L.A., right by Staples Center, USC. Then I moved out to the suburbs. So I love L.A. I love the Rams. I have them regardless win the Super Bowl. And I'm going to be rooting for them this week. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to be rooting for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and them doing some crazy stuff. I'm going to be clapping for them. But at the end of the day, the Rams, it's Rams house all day. God show love to my city. My city made it in my city's hometown, home field, SoFi Stadium. So yeah, I'm going for the Rams all day. But let's hope it's a good game, dog, for sure. If they win, much love to Joe Burrow. I got nothing against the man or Jamar Chase.
What do you think of it?
You know what? I want it to be a good game, but I have a feeling that the Rams are going to win by 10. I think they're going to win by like 10 to 12 points. I'm going to say that. I think that the Rams will score 20 plus points and the Bengals won't score 20.
Yeah, I see that. The defense is too good. Like that defense, we see what they did to Jimmy G. We see what they did to Tom. I mean, Tom Brady had 300 and something passing, but still, like the defense is nasty. And then the offense, so now you think about the Bucs, they have Tom Brady. If the defense can't fully hold him down, the offense will finish the job. So, and the Bengals defense is not that great. They're good. They're not like great. They're not elite. And then of course the offense as well. And just like Sargent said, Burrow's gonna make history. We love Burrow, but the Rams defense and that offense together is too much, I think, for the Bengals. But we'll see.
I think one thing too that a lot of people don't want to talk about is the head coach of the Bengals too. Like Zach Taylor deserves a lot of credit. Like I honestly should be giving him more credit because a lot of the reason that I think the Bengals are in the position that they're in, like even during that game, I was watching and I was like, holy shit, that was a good play call by the Bengals. Like you saw maybe the one play, I think where the running back runs left instead of right and the ball was on the left hash. So like he had a lot less space on the left side versus the right. And Burrow and the coach are yelling at him. And it's just like immediately, as soon as the play's off, like it's immediately on those two's radar. Like the awareness, the chemistry between those two, I think that's like something to be said for the future. Like Sarge is saying, Burrow's going to make history, just not this year. I think he'll definitely make history. I think this year, but I can see why the Bengals are heavily favored. Don't get me wrong.
Well, I will say this, though, to your point, is that the one thing the Bengals, in my opinion, like I said, I don't think Burrow's as good as Brady. I think he is as good as Jimmy G. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say Jimmy G's better than Burrow. Burrow's amazing. But the coaching, Sean McVay almost threw that game away. I don't know if you remember the Rams game. 2 terrible challenges back-to-back to lose all his timeouts. So if the Niners would have got that interception, there's no timeouts for the Rams. They can just ice the game at that point. Jimmy G, you get the ball to Jimmy G. If he scores, they have no timeouts to get the ball down the field. They have to go out of bounds the whole drive. So Sean McVay almost, and that's not the first game he's thrown away or almost thrown away this season. He's been doing it a lot lately. Morris and Sean McVay are not good coaches, in my opinion, not good coordinators. I think you need to go with Zach Taylor as the guy. You know what I'm saying? Zach Taylor's, I know that he's part of that tree, that Kyle Shanahan tree like Sean McVay is, but I think Zach Taylor is the better coach, and that could be the difference if the Bengals do win. It's going to be pure him being out, Sean McVay being out coached by Zach Taylor, I think would be the only reason I can see the Bengals beating the Rams. But I think the Rams have so much talent, it doesn't matter who's coach. I can coach them, and Jalen Ramsey is going to be getting picks, Aaron Donald's going to be getting sacks, and Cooper Kupp and OBJ are going to be wide open for big gains. So,
remember the last Super Bowl, though, that the Rams were in? All the high expectation. I know it was Jared Goff. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, somebody said to me, I think I was like talking to somebody today at my job, and they mentioned to me, they were like, oh, the Rams, didn't you see that terrible game that they played last week? Like, they should have, I think that they should have won by a lot more against the 49ers, as good as the 49ers are. I think that the Bengals are, I don't know. I just think that, like, the Bengals have a lot more to gain than to lose, is how I'll put it. So I think, like, teams, when they're playing with that edge, they're willing to take risks more. Like, if Matt Stafford makes a couple bad decisions, or Sean McVay, like you're saying, makes a couple bad coaching calls, or just, like, some way the universe works out that, like, a combination of those two things happens, I don't know. That kid on the left right here, I think he's going to capitalize on it if it happens. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl. I think we got lucky this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we did. And I'll say this, dog. The last thing I'll say about it on my end is, you talk about that Super Bowl. They're playing against Brady. You know what I'm saying? Brady and Belichick, 2 guys who are obviously great at what they do. And then on the other hand, you have Sean McVay, who's not a good coach, and he's not going to beat Bill Belichick, that's for sure. But now you have Matt Stafford and OBJ, and you have Von Miller, and you have these pieces. Nick Scott wasn't on the team in 2018. Now you have all these great pieces they didn't have back then. That's gonna offset Sean McVay's idiot, like Sean McVay and Morris. It's gonna offset anything that they do that's stupid, in my opinion. And like it has all season. Like if they didn't have those players, they probably got eliminated already, because it's just been bad coaching all year. And I've been saying this all year. I feel like you've heard this at least like 3 times from me, right? The whole Sean McVay Morris thing. Can't stand them, but I love the Rams, and that team is too talented.
And there you have it. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all we got for tonight, guys. Thank you for coming through. Thank you to these 2 gentlemen for coming through. All those watching on Warzone, if you could do us a favor, please sub to our YouTube, Up for Debate. We have our own YouTube channel now. We're trying to grow it on there too. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. We got the Pro Bowl this week, which obviously nobody really cares about. I mean, I care about it. All my friends make fun of me for caring about it. They all say nobody cares about it. But I mean, we got 2 weeks to talk about the Super Bowl. We got the interviews next week. It's going to be an interesting week. What a week we had this past week. If you guys aren't follow our TikTok. We got Jay and Bib on there now.
Yeah.
We got Cap Cut. We're figuring that like craziness out. The content's getting great. The podcast is getting better. Listen to us on Spotify. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts. We got it everywhere now. So we're growing this thing as much as we can. And thank you guys for coming through. Do you guys have anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, I'll just finish it off with, man, appreciate y'all too. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't know, they switched it to the Monday nights. It's mainly because of me to accommodate myself. So I appreciate these guys. Are awesome, man. Love these guys. Sergeant, shout out my guy, sticking to the whole show, commenting, showing love. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just excited to see. I don't care about the Pro Bowl, honestly, but I'll probably watch it. But hey, nothing but love, y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next Monday too. Much love always.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, next Monday it is. Thank you for coming through, Sarge. And yeah, that's wrapping up, guys. Thanks for coming through. We'll see you next Monday.
It's up